Level 3 Pilates, mat-based, fundamental, training manual, workbook 3.
What page is it in your book?
In my book, it's page, what number do you want it to be? Page 7.
7.
Balanced posture. Should have a picture that resembles something like that. Some person that's standing quite tall and quite erect. You're a matron, yeah. That's what's considered good posture. So all I'd like you to do is just take a gander at that picture. It doesn't worry about it, yeah. There's different editions. Have you got the one where he's looking like that? That's it. The person is looking like, wow, they're great. Now, he's looking crap there.
Yeah, keep going the other way.
That's flat back. No, the other way. Go the other way.
Oh, right back. Yeah.
Should be no.
No, that's the one I was on.
Where did we put it in this one? There we go. What's page 7? We don't condone violence, by the way. Oh, page 7, sorry. So that is the posture which is considered good posture. I say considered, there's arguments against that. I'm going to read from here. What is good posture? Posture is the position in which you hold your body upright against gravity while standing, sitting, or lying down. The 3 Zen positions of meditation. Good posture involves training your body to stand, walk, sit, and lie in positions where the least strain is placed on supporting muscles and ligaments during movements or weight-bearing activities. Blah-de, 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 blah. So that's what's considered good posture. That picture is what's considered good posture. Everyone deliriously happy with that? Any questions on that? Okay. So in a nutshell, the tip of the ear, which is there on him, his head's a bit broken, external auditory meatus, is roughly, you've dropped the plumb line down, you're looking for the point of the ear there, to the point of the shoulder, to the trochanter, to the head of the fibula, and to the malleolus there. Roughly, more or less, a bit of a straight line, plumb line down. And you can get deviations from that. This is why we're glad you've passed the test. Not everyone does on the courses straight away, but that you've actually passed the test, because I can jibber jabber on now without you confusing it with what YMCA is saying in their books. So in the womb, there is only, so there's the spine, and you can look in there if you want to as well. There's different curves to the spine. There's this curve here. What's that called? That's the part of the neck bone called? Was it? Cervical or is it cervical? Is it? Isn't it cervical?
Do you like to say it?
Exactly. There you go. It means the same, just means neck. Cervical, cervical, tomato, tomato. Anyway, so you've got 7 neck vertebrae. In the womb, I apologize. You've got the neck vertebra, you've got the thoracic, you've got the lumbar, you've got the sacral. You've got 12 thoracic and 5 lumbar. Anyway, you've got certain curves in the spine which affect posture. You've got I'm going to call it the neck. You've got the neck curve, you've got the thoracic curve, you've got the lumbar curve, you've got the sacral curve. That's referred to as a lordosis, that's referred to as a kyphosis, that's referred to as a lordosis, and that's referred to as a kyphosis. Is everyone okay with them? This is something very pertinent, you will get it in classes. And you go at people with different amounts of curvatures in each section. In the womb, you only have 2 curves. You have the thoracic curve, kyphosis, and you have the sacral, kyphosis. Once the baby's born, it learns to lift its head. That's when and only when you get the neck, lordosis. And when the child learns to walk, that's when you get the lumbar lordosis. Everyone deliriously happy with that? So does everyone know what that one is? Lordosis is where it goes in. It's like a cave, concave. I don't know which way you're looking at it. So I'm looking from the back. It goes inwards. It's concave. It's a lordosis. This one's a kyphosis. That's a lordosis. Is everyone happy with that? Is anyone not sure on what I'm on about? Yeah? Okay. the bones of the neck, now each one is individual. You can't just say all the neck bones are exactly the same, because they're not. They're slightly different. The first two in particular are massively different, and the others, they're all different shape. And same with the lumbar, the thoracic area, they sort of share the same feature, but each one is different from the other one. And same with the lumbar. And same with the sacrum. What sometimes happens is the bones ossify and you get the sacrum because it's fixed and rigid. Sometimes, especially when people are hypermobile in the spine, what tends to happen is one of the bones that should get fused to the sacrum doesn't, and they've got an extra bone in the lumbar, and those people tend to be hypermobile in the lumbar region. Conversely, the opposite can happen, and one that should be in the lumbar gets fused with the sacrum, and they tend to be hypomobile. Everyone okay with that? So again, it's getting away from this, you should be in this position or you should be able to do it. Some people physically may not be able to, because some people may not have the same aspect. Now you can also have a combination, I've had clients with this, a couple actually, where just one side of that was fused up here. Any combination of that, just one side fused, extra one fused, one that wasn't fused. You can have any combination. I've actually had a client which was fused up here, as in birth. For whatever reason, some defect, if you want to use that word, it was fused on one side. So that's going to affect mobility. This is really aimed at, and I'm going to try and stick to it as best I can, people with no pathologies or specific issues. Is that okay? In other words, I hate to use the word normal, but in other words, oh yeah, but my mate had bone cancer. Yeah, well, they've got bone cancer. They're going to have this. So this is without any pathologies that we're on about now. So the shape of the bone, and it's going to be different for everyone, is going to dictate what curves they have and what posture they have. I'll give it an example. L5 bone can be quite a bit of difference, and the shape of the bone affects the sacral angle. Not everyone's got the same sacral angle, and it's genetic, it can be this because of the shape of the bone, it can be cultural, not cultural, what's the word, race, in related to their race. Some people have the sacral angle right out like that, some people have it flat. Asians tend to have it a bit flatter. Africans tend to have it a little bit further out and give them an appearance as if the bum is a lot bigger, almost like they've got a shelf on the sacral angle, and it's also to do with the shape of the bone. So it's, for some aspects, it's sort of like evolutionary, if you like. So I'm sure you're familiar with certain stereotypes. Asian men are stereotypically said to have smaller penises. African men are said to have longer penises, and can be explained to some extent with that. And Asian women, it's relatively flat, so if you're having sex from behind, the penis hasn't got that far to go. Conversely, if you've got one which is out there, it's got a lot further to go, so evolutionarily it needs to be bigger to get in there to propagate. So, the sacral angle of the shape of the bone is going to affect the shape of the spine. Can't do anything really about that. Yeah? Because it's the shape of the bones are substitute, but bear in mind it's going to be different for everyone. The shape of your bones is going to be different from the shape of your bones, and so on and so forth. And then you've got life history on top of that, and yes, you might have illnesses and degenerative diseases, osteoporosis, which is going to affect it even further. So to some extent, some people may just have what they've got. What we're really trying to alter or affect, I was going to say fix them, as a naughty word, because you're not trying to fix anyone, because we're all perfect, is basically muscles that have gone tight and are pulling the bones out of position. That's what we're really trying to affect in Pilates. Everyone okay with that? Yeah? Okay. So I'm not going to redo the lecture on arches again, but you get the idea. Certain muscles are tighter, and you need to be looking at, well, what muscles can be tight that can increase the curve of the neck. What muscles could be tight or long or weak or strong that can increase the curve in the thoracic spine. And lastly, which muscles could be strong or weak or short or long that can affect the lordosis in the spine, in the lumbar spine. This one's fixed. You can have issues in sacroiliac joint dysfunction, which can affect that, the sacrum, but not really. That's really what we're looking at. So, any questions so far? I'm happy with that. Okay. So